Hey, how's it going, YouTube? We've got some cool stuff to talk to you guys about today. We mentioned in our Major 2 recap about how, hey, what are we going to do for the next 2 months? What are we going to do while we wait for the World Championship? And luckily for us, during the Major 2, they actually announced 2 events coming up. One we knew about, one that is brand new. I'm going to play the videos and stuff in the background while we talk over it. I'm not going to waste your time or make you guys read through all of these bullet points as I've done it all for you. So at the World Championship, or not the World Championship, at Major 2, Leaf talked about how there's 2 upcoming events. The first one, which we knew about, was the Esports World Cup. We knew that, hey, people are going to be going to Riyadh. They're going to compete on behalf of their teams. This is where all the teams are being forced to pick up rosters and being given a ton of money. But now we've got some of the details. And one of the downfalls of this is it looks like everybody's kind of favorite format is going away. Crew battles is gone from the looks of things. It looks like they are going to a standardized 3v3 standard tournament. There is no longer, hey, 1s, 2s, and 3s in a crew battle and stuff like that, which I think kind of stinks. I'm really kind of turned off by that one. Unrealistically, there's a couple things that they don't talk about that they should. Number one, this went from being something that felt like kind of a slap in the face, where we saw a massive reduction in prize pool. The prize pool used to be 2 million, then it was 250,000. Many of us believed that that was EFG, the production and the producing partner behind this, being like, hey, we're pissed that you guys went to Blast, or reducing your payout. It's now 500k plus 50k for the tournament MVP, which was beast mode last time. They say it's 16 teams. There is also 2 wild cards. So there's 2 from each region, and they have a breakdown. We'll talk about that in a sec here. But it is 16 teams with 2 wild cards going into a group stage, and then there's playoff stage, which is top 8, single elim, best of 7. It's pretty straightforward. This will be going down August 22nd to the 25th, and it seems like a pretty standard 3v3 tournament that's going to go over a few days. This is the replacement for Gamers 8. It is the exact same. So Gamers 8's no more. That became Esports World Cup. It is now multiple tournaments being put on by the same people, and then organizations are competing in multiple events with multiple titles. Winner of that has like a conglomerate of like, hey, we're the best esports team in the world type mentality. This isn't going anywhere, chat. Whether you love it or hate it, this is going to be a thing for the next few years. It's going to continue to be ran over there. That's just the reality of things. That's just how it goes. On top of that, they then announced a new community tournament called the FIFA World Cup, which we'll talk about here in just a second. The Esports World Cup did just put out literally today some updates of how things are going to break down with the prize pool and everything else in a cool little slide. They talk about how the group stage is 4 groups of 4, double elimination, best of 5s, which, love or hate the situation, is my favorite type of group stage, I think. Double and best of 5s means the best teams move forward. There's no issues with that. And the top 2 make it forward, which gives us our 8 teams in single elim. How they're going to seed those things, we'll have to find out, and we'll have to wait and see. This is how the slot distributions are going to break down. It looks like they are trying to do a fully world-esque type. There is going to be 2 wildcard teams. How they determine those wildcards, I have no clue. I don't know how they're going to determine what the wildcard teams are. In the past, they did previous event winners. So, like, Furia gets an automatic bid because they won the first Gamers 8. Very likely that they could automatically invite G2 because they won the last one, Beast Mode Daniel, 2/3 kind of situation. And then North America has 3 representation. We don't know. I don't know how they're going to determine the wildcards. They may just take 2 teams from Saudi E-League and invite them. I have no clue. So that's kind of what we got for Esports World Cup. But the one that's everybody's kind of talking about is FIFA, which I think is really, really cool. If you guys don't know, a while back, they did this one thing called the Intel World Open, IWO. Thank you, Oregon. But they had the IWO event, which was the Intel World Open, which was supposed to be 16 nations, like a true World Cup, like we see in football, not American football, where you were going to get a bunch of teams representing their region, USA versus Canada versus France versus Mexico versus so on and so forth. They were going to then go to Katowice. They were going to perform in a qualifier, and then they were going to play in Japan at the World Cup. It was going to be kind of a preliminary $250,000 tournament. COVID ruined that. It all went online. It became regional based. It sucked. It also took a job away from me from ESPN, but we don't think about that anymore because it makes us sad. This time around, it looks like it's actually happening. I would assume this is happening tail end of the year. If the if the Esports World Cup is happening before Worlds, which is happening at the tail end of August, that means Worlds will happen September. I assume the FIFA E World Cup will happen towards the end of the year. If I had to guess, probably like November, December, sometime before the holidays, if I had to assume. Because of that, breakdown for this. 16 nations, so USA, Canada, so on and so forth. These things are going to be based on how teams have performed in the RLCS. So you go and look at RLCS results, the regions or the players that are representing in those events, they're going to look at, hey, where are you from? And then based upon that information, based upon population and the player base size and all those things, they're then going to do qualifiers for those events to make sure the best teams move forward. Teams will consist of 3 starters and 1 substitute, even though the substitute probably never going to see the field. They will say that they are going to provide more details in the future. They do have a kind of an official post on their website. It doesn't really give us a whole lot. It's more of the same. Just like I said, hey, hosting information. We have more details. We want to be inclusive of this. It's going to be really, really cool. So on and so forth. Are these teams going to have coaches? I have no idea. I don't know if they're considered. Most tournaments like this usually send 5 people, which is 3 starters, sub, and coach or coach manager. We'll see how that plays out. You can usually take coach and manager or coach and sub as same. Like Chrome is the sub of Gen G. He's also their coach. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how this one plays out. I'm curious to see who's going to move forward. There's been a lot of talks, obviously, on the timeline already of who the favorites are. Obviously, you can talk France. USA literally just gets to send G2 after they just won the Major 2. If you guys would like to see kind of my opinion on what the best fielded nation teams would be, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll try to build something up and put out a video of like who we think are the best reps for each country. That could be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do that on stream in another day. But with that said, 2 off-season tournaments to come and be excited about. Again, a lot of people have been talking about, we have a super long off-season. What are we going to do? It looks like some of those things are starting to be announced. As you guys know, I'm also trying to run my own tournament. If it gets approved and everything goes well, then I'll have more details on that for you all as well. But just know there is intentions for off-season events to happen. We are not going to just have a 6-month off-season with nothing to do. I promise you. People are trying very, very hard to make things happen. So with that in mind, hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Hopefully you guys enjoy everything's going on. Hopefully some things to look forward to. And we finally get a true IWL, which I'm pretty pumped about. Either way, it's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, notifications. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.